Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and I just got back from the new film, the WNUF Halloween Special. This is a found footage film, and I think when you think of found footage films, and the kind of logistical problem I've had with a lot of them is like, who found this footage? Why is it edited? What was the deal with it? What were their morals when they found it? That's kind of a problem with the subgenre in itself, although the first film to do that kind of addresses all that, Cannibal Holocaust. But Paranormal Activity and the Blair Witch Project, they don't really get into it. You know that this footage was found, it was for some reason edited, and it is being released commercially, and even though that's super creepy if that footage had been actually real. Now, the WNUF Halloween Special puts the found footage genre into a whole different place. The premise of it is that this was a infamous 1987 TV broadcast in which Halloween night a reporter goes into a haunted house, a house where 20 years before, when a boy who used, they call it a spirit board, I guess because of legal reasons, they can't call it a Ouija board. So he used a spirit board and he was using it a lot, and supposedly demons contacted him and convinced him to kill his parents, and he decapitated both of them. This is the first time anyone's been in the house since then. He brings two paranormal investigators in there with their cat Shadow, I forget the name of the people, but of course I remember the cat's name, and a priest with television reporter Frank Stewart. And it was a live broadcast, and then, you know, obviously since it's an infamous television broadcast that's supposedly finally getting released, you know, it probably didn't turn out so good. What I like about this is that there was a time when you tape trade with people, and I did it quite a bit, and you get kind of these second generation tapes. You never knew what to expect. And part of the fun of that was you get these weird local commercials from states you had never visited, or they would fast forward through certain parts because they were recording it and they were probably watching it. And this film does that quite a few times. Actually has real commercials that they made specifically for this, and it really feels like someone duped a recording of this infamous 1987 broadcast, and it feels like you really found this footage yourself and you're really watching like this kind of duped tape that someone made, and it's kind of cool. I actually like the experience of watching it. I got sent a copy of this by the director of this film, Chris Martina, because he put up a Facebook that he will send this, but he wouldn't tell anyone what it was, and it would be very mysterious. I didn't get to watch it until actually I did find out what it was, so that would have been a lot cooler, and I ruined it for myself. But when I did watch it, and I watch it late at night, I like to watch horror movies late at night because they're more fun, they're a little spookier. Kind of brought me back to the time really watching a videotape you'd find it, like, even if you tape traded with someone on the internet, or you go to the Salvation Army, and I bought a couple of tapes just because they say like Beavis and Butthead or Mystery Science Theater, and you just watch them, and sometimes they would be dupes, sometimes you wouldn't know what to expect, and that's kind of the fun of this, is it reminded me of those days of just popping a video into your VCR and not sure what you were going to get, if you were going to just get 2 episodes of Beavis and Butthead, and then maybe, you know, some recording of the Blues Brothers on syndicated TV. And I think WNUF Halloween Special has a lot of that love of that era in it. There's a real love for the 80s and 80s TV. I was a kid in the 80s, so I watched a lot of 80s TV. It looks exactly like 80s TV. The commercials are excellently done. There's a lot of funny gags in them. There's a Monster Truck one that instead of saying Sunday, 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 it goes Tuesday, Tuesday, Tuesday. I read through interviews that supposedly they got other filmmaker friends to make the 80s commercials, and they made the actual broadcast parts. I don't know, there's no credits on it. It's really just like, all I have on it is, it says WNUF Halloween Special. And I kind of like that about it. It's supposedly only getting released on VHS. I think that's the coolest way to release something like this. It's kind of a cool concept, and one of the fresher found footage films I've ever seen, because it really makes you the person who found the footage. The thing about found footage films and the genre is, I think when you want to do something fresh with it, you really have to think about it, and you have to think about what to do with the genre. And I think WNUF Halloween Special is probably one of the ones I think that takes the concept most head on, and takes almost like a William Castle idea behind it, where it's like you're really the one who found it, which is even spookier. And when I was a teenager, I watched a lot of VHSs in my room with the lights off, so my parents didn't know I was watching them on a school night. And so this took me back to all of that. So to me, it was a real nostalgia trip. I'm curious to any of you who have grew up kind of in the DVD era would view something like this, but I don't know if it's so much of a period film almost. It like doesn't even care about people who don't get the period, which is something I kind of like about it. Sometimes things get released on VHS and it's kind of a gimmick, but this, I mean, yeah, sure, I guess it is kind of a gimmick, but it's a gimmick that's fun and a gimmick that I liked, and I think it's a gimmick that makes the movie that much more fun. I don't want to see this movie on DVD. The trailer online is the quality's too good for me. I have kind of a crappier VCR, but still, I like kind of the crappier, like, looks like it's a generation down videotape of it, and it makes it far more creepier. I think if it was bumped up in quality, if there's a Blu-ray of this, oh God forbid, I don't want to see this on TV, I don't want to see this on anything but video, because it embraces its concept so much, just lovely about it. I mean, it is a little weird that you're cutting so much to commercial in it, and so much of it is watching commercials, but what it's trying to be is trying to be like an infamous broadcast that was recorded. I mean, like the Star Wars Christmas special, I saw various copies of that with various different local commercials, and you'd have to sit through these local commercials and you wouldn't want to fast forward because you're like, whoa, this is kind of weird. It's like you're seeing like a piece of time you're not supposed to see. And WNUF Halloween Special takes the whole idea of like you're seeing a part of time that you're not supposed to see, because this is an infamous Halloween special that was banned and never broadcast again, and it's like this weird piece of 80s TV history that you've somehow gotten a piece of, and it's got that kind of like eerie, creepy feeling, like what have I unearthed? And I don't think I've ever seen a found footage film that has the what have I unearthed feeling about it the way WNUF Halloween Special does. I really, really like this movie, and I think it was really ingenious the way they made it, and that it feels so much of what it's trying to do. There's so many ways this concept could have totally flopped. Making a film as if it's the 80s and a found footage film, it's kind of two horror subgenres that usually don't work as well as this film does. It's a very postmodern idea to go back and do something like this, and a very retro idea, but it's really good at all of that, and I really love it for all of that. If you're a film nerd and you traded VHS tapes, you just absolutely have to see this movie. It's one of the better horror movies I've actually seen this year. I had a lot of fun, and that's one of the things about horror. That's one of the things I like about it. It's fun to be scared. And this film really embraces that, but it also embraces the fun of watching a VHS tape when you're a kid in the dark by yourself and knowing how creepy and weird it is to be seeing something that no one else is probably watching at that time, which is something you don't have anymore, you know? Now with all this streaming and stuff, you're probably like, someone's probably watching the same thing as me, you know? And when you have something on VHS as weird and crazy as this, it does have that old VHS feeling where you're like, wow, I'm the only person watching this right now. It's a very intimate, scary, crazy feeling that I think only VHS really had. So if you have seen the WNUF Halloween Special and you would like to talk about it, then comment below in the comments and subscribe if you would like to. Sorry the camera switched in the middle. The other camera died. So, died of battery, I wanted to finish, so I just got the other one. It was going to be a cool concept thing, but whatever, now it's